Have you ever thought that one small mistake before a blood test could affect your results and put your health at risk? For many older adults, this can be not just frustrating, but dangerous. The truth is, everyday habits you might not even think about can quietly mess with your test results, making them seem worse or sometimes better than they really are. When that happens, your doctor might base their decisions on numbers that don't actually reflect your true health. As someone who's spent years learning from heart specialists, I can tell you that avoiding a few simple mistakes before a blood test can make the difference between an accurate diagnosis and months of unnecessary worry or treatment. This isn't about making your results look perfect. It's about giving your doctor the clearest picture of your heart, blood, and overall health so you can make the best choices for yourself. In this video, we're going to go over 5 things you should never do before a blood test to protect your health and avoid complications. Stick around till the end because the last tip is something most people never talk about, yet it can have the biggest impact on your results. First up, drinking coffee or tea before your test. One common mistake I see is people drinking their usual morning coffee or tea before a blood test, thinking it won't do any harm. After all, it's just a drink, right? The problem is that both coffee and tea contain caffeine and natural compounds that can trigger short-term changes in your body chemistry. They can temporarily raise your blood pressure, speed up your heart rate, and even mess with certain hormone levels. More importantly, caffeine can affect your blood sugar and cholesterol levels. Even if you drink your coffee or tea black, without sugar or cream, the caffeine in it can cause small changes in your body's chemistry. These shifts might be enough to make your test results seem abnormal, leading your doctor to think there's a problem when there isn't. I once knew a 74-year-old man named Robert who went for a routine heart checkup. He had his usual strong coffee before heading to the clinic. When the results came back, his fasting blood sugar was much higher than expected, and his heart rate was elevated. His doctor ordered more tests, leaving him anxious for weeks. When the blood work was repeated without the morning coffee, everything came back normal. That unnecessary stress could have been avoided with one simple change. It's not just about sugar levels. Caffeine stimulates your adrenal glands, releasing stress hormones like cortisol, which can influence your metabolism and affect fasting-dependent results. Some blood tests are very sensitive to any deviation from a true fast, and the nothing but water instructions aren't optional. They exist for a reason. Ignoring them can result in a misleading health picture and, in some cases, unnecessary treatment. For older adults with multiple health conditions that are closely monitored through regular blood tests, accuracy is crucial. Your heart health, kidney function, and even medication adjustments may depend on these numbers. If your blood test is meant to be fasting, stick to water until it's done. Think of it as an investment in your peace of mind. That cup of coffee or tea can wait a little while, but the stress of a false alarm can last days. Number 2, taking your morning medications without guidance. Many seniors are used to taking their prescribed medications first thing in the morning, often with just a sip of water before they even think about breakfast. It's a habit they've followed for years, but before a blood test, especially one checking fasting levels or organ functions, taking medications without consulting your doctor can mess with your results. Certain drugs, including common heart medications, diuretics, and even over-the-counter supplements, can alter your blood sugar, electrolyte balance, and other important markers. In some cases, they can hide a problem that should be detected, or worse, make healthy results look abnormal. I remember meeting Carol, a 78-year-old woman who went in for her regular heart checkup. She was on a diuretic for fluid retention and took it as usual before her fasting blood test. When the results came back, her potassium levels were dangerously low, and her kidney function looked worse than it actually was. This caused unnecessary worry, extra appointments, and even a medication change that wasn't needed. Once her doctor realized she had taken the diuretic before the test, they retook the blood work under the correct conditions, and her numbers came back normal. This isn't about skipping your medication or ignoring medical advice. It's about understanding that timing is crucial. Some medications should be taken before a test, others after, and your doctor should be the one to decide which is which. If you're unsure, it's best to ask your healthcare provider or pharmacist ahead of time. Bring a list of all your medications, including vitamins and herbal supplements, and let them guide you on what to take and what to hold off on until after the blood test. Remember, your test results are like a snapshot of your health at that moment. If something in your routine messes with that snapshot, you could end up worrying about problems that don't exist or missing ones that do. Protect the accuracy of your results, protect your peace of mind, and make sure your medication routine matches your blood test requirements. If you're still watching and finding these tips helpful, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend subscribing and turning on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us keep creating helpful content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move on. Number 3, eating a heavy breakfast before a fasting blood test. A common mistake I see is when someone hears the word fasting and thinks it just means skipping coffee or having a light breakfast. The truth is, if your test requires fasting, even a small meal can mess with your results in surprising ways. Eating a heavy breakfast, especially one high in sugar, refined carbs, or fats, can cause inaccurate readings for glucose, cholesterol, and triglycerides. These numbers are often used to assess your risk for heart disease, diabetes, and other serious conditions, so it's not something to take lightly. I remember a 74-year-old man named Harold who had his annual lab work scheduled early one morning. He thought he was being smart by having a couple of slices of toast with jam and a glass of orange juice, thinking it wasn't a big deal. But when his results came back, his triglycerides were nearly double the normal range, and his blood sugar was higher than usual. His doctor almost put him on medication until Harold admitted he had eaten breakfast that morning. When they repeated the test under true fasting conditions, the numbers were much better. That unnecessary worry could have been avoided with the right preparation. The reason fasting is so important is because your body is constantly processing food into glucose and fats, which then circulate in your bloodstream for hours after eating. If your blood is drawn while these levels are still high, the results 1. To reflect your usual baseline, they'll reflect the meal you just had. For people over 70, this is especially critical because doctors are looking for subtle changes over time and need a consistent picture from one test to the next. If you're instructed to fast, that means no food, only water for the period. Your doctor specifies usually 8 to 12 hours before the test. It's not about punishing yourself or going hungry for no reason. It's about giving your healthcare team the clearest, most accurate snapshot of your health so they can make the best decisions for you. When you realize that skipping breakfast for a few hours can prevent months of unnecessary worry or even incorrect treatment, it suddenly feels like a small price to pay. Number 4, engaging in strenuous exercise before the test. Many seniors think that a good workout on the day of their blood test will show the doctor how active they are, but in reality, intense exercise right before the test can throw off the results. When you engage in strenuous activity, especially weightlifting, jogging, or even a long brisk walk, your muscles release enzymes, lactic acid, and other byproducts into the bloodstream. This can raise markers like creatine kinase, which might be mistaken for signs of heart or muscle damage. It can also temporarily alter your blood sugar and electrolyte balance, giving your doctor an inaccurate view of your usual health. I remember speaking with a 68-year-old woman named Louise who took pride in her morning fitness routine. On the day of her cholesterol and blood sugar tests, she went for her usual 2-mile power walk, feeling energized and proud of her commitment to health. When her results came back, her potassium levels were slightly elevated and her blood sugar was lower than usual. Her doctor was concerned and ordered additional tests, which caused her a week of anxiety. Once she mentioned her morning exercise, it became clear that her results had been skewed by the physical activity. Exercise is great for your heart, bones, and mind, but when it comes to lab work, timing matters. The changes in your blood after a workout are temporary, but they're enough to confuse a doctor who's looking for stable, consistent results over time. For seniors, especially those being monitored for heart conditions or metabolic issues, accuracy in blood tests is crucial for making the right treatment decisions. If you have a blood test scheduled, it's best to skip your usual morning workout and stick to light movements like gentle stretching. Save your walk, swim, or gym session for after your blood draw. Think of it as pressing pause for a few hours to make sure the results you get truly reflect your normal health. This small change can save you from unnecessary retests, medical costs, and needless worry. If you're still watching and finding these tips helpful, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend subscribing and turning on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us create more content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move on. Number 5, drinking alcohol the night before a blood test. A glass of wine or a small drink with dinner might seem harmless, but alcohol the night before can mess with your results in ways you might not expect. Even moderate amounts can affect your liver enzymes, triglycerides, and blood sugar. For heart patients or those being monitored for cardiovascular risk, These markers are crucial for assessing how well your body is functioning. A sudden spike in liver enzymes, for example, might lead your doctor to suspect a liver problem when it's just your body processing alcohol from the night before. I remember a 74-year-old gentleman named Harold who had a routine blood test scheduled. The evening before, he enjoyed a couple of beers at a family gathering. When his results came back, his triglycerides were noticeably higher, and his liver enzyme levels had doubled compared to his previous test. His doctor was concerned and recommended further imaging to rule out liver disease. Harold went through weeks of stress, only to later realize that his numbers had been influenced by his drinking the night before. After he avoided alcohol for his follow-up test, everything returned to normal. Alcohol can also dehydrate you, making your veins harder to find and possibly making the blood draw more uncomfortable. It can lower your blood sugar too much or cause it to fluctuate, which is particularly important for anyone being monitored for diabetes or pre-diabetes. Even small changes in these numbers can lead to unnecessary concerns or medication adjustments for heart health. The safest approach before a blood test is to skip alcohol for at least 24 hours. This ensures your body is in its natural state and your results reflect your true health. This way, you and your doctor can make decisions based on accurate information, not temporary changes caused by a drink. A single evening without alcohol can save you from confusion, repeat tests, and anxiety that no one needs at this stage of life. Final thoughts: as we age, it becomes even more important to protect our health. By making thoughtful choices, especially before routine blood tests. These tests are more than just numbers. They show how our heart, liver, kidneys, and overall body are functioning at that moment. By taking small but important precautions, like avoiding certain foods, habits, or activities before the test, we give ourselves the best chance of getting results that reflect our true health. This means fewer false alarms, fewer unnecessary procedures, and more peace of mind knowing the results are accurate. I've seen many good people, friends, neighbors, even family, go through needless stress because of results skewed by something as simple as a late-night snack, a morning coffee, or a bit of alcohol the night before. Sometimes the hardest part of getting older isn't just the physical changes, but the small oversights that can lead to bigger problems. The good news is, these mistakes are completely avoidable if we know what to watch out for. At this stage in life, we deserve clarity, not confusion. We deserve to work with our doctors from a place of trust and accuracy, and that starts with understanding how our everyday choices right up to the hours before a test can impact the results. So, the next time a blood test shows up on your calendar, think of it as an opportunity to prepare your body carefully, not just another routine medical appointment. A little awareness can save you from a lot of unnecessary worry. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating great content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.